Hey, so that was like such an awkward hey. Sorry about that. That was not natural or authentic. My voice even cracked. But anyway, I wanted to hop on here and do something not COVID related. And I'm using this natural light and the sun is setting, so I gotta be quick. I'm notorious for long-winded videos, but this time I'll be forced to be concise, so we'll see. But amidst this COVID crisis, that's all we're talking about now. But I think it's great to have some healthy escapism. Like I always say, fill your cup and feed your soul. That is this mantra I created for myself. I'm running with it. I live it every day, and it helps. And one of the things that really fills my cup and feeds my soul is art. Any type of art, visual art, photography, music, writing, poetry, all of the dance. I've been watching really old episodes of So You Can Dance. It brings me so much joy. But there was one day before the crisis really blew up, but I knew it was going to. Like, I felt the clock ticking, and I was like, oh shit, stuff is gonna start getting locked down. They're gonna start telling us to self-quarantine, because I saw it in other countries, and I knew it was about to happen here. And being the first world, like, I call myself privileged. I'm not like rich by any means, but I'm privileged. Like, you'll see what I mean. You can tell I'm freaking privileged, and I'm not saying that to brag, but to like call myself out. Like, I know like what I'm about to say is gonna sound trivial and trite, but me being a privileged person I am, and also being a millennial, like a lot of boomers tell me I'm different. They think I'm more responsible than other millennials, but I still fit that negative stereotype of the millennial. So I'm like, okay, oh shit, things are gonna get locked down. I gotta hurry up and get to the salon and get my pedicure done and my eyebrows done before there is gonna be a quarantine. Because I had been really sick, like right before this crisis broke out, and I had been too exhausted to even make it to the salon. So my toenails grew out like freaking bear claws, people. Bear claws. And it's a pet peeve. I hate having long toenails. They snag on stuff, they click on the floor. It's disgusting. And then I don't like having furry eyebrows. It makes me not want to make videos, but I did make a couple videos with furry eyebrows and nobody commented on my furry eyebrows. So maybe I'm being self-absorbed and think people have so much time to worry if my eyebrows are arched right. But anyway, it's something that I'm kind of self-conscious about. But when I went through chronic illness and couldn't always get my eyebrows waxed, I learned to love myself anyway, whether the eyebrows are cleaned up or not. But in this case, I was like, okay, we may get into a lockdown soon. We may have to start self-quarantining. I don't know how long we're gonna be locked away. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to feel good and clean. I'm gonna go get my toes done and my eyebrows done. And I just told you that long story to set the scene of how I stumbled into what I'm gonna share with you. So I'm sitting there getting my getting my feet done. When I was getting my eyebrows done, the girl kept exhaling all over my face for about 20 minutes, and I'm breathing in her exhale, and I hate that, even like pandemic aside. So, but she looked real good. She was like beautiful and healthy looking and glowing. I know like you can't see COVID, but I was like hoping she was healthy. We'll find out because she was breathing all over me. So far I feel fine. But anyway, I'm in the chair getting my feet done. And I'm on my phone on Amazon reading through books I want to buy. Like, you can look inside and read a sample. And I was reading this really good essay by George Orwell. I've suddenly become very interested in him because of the chaotic times we're in. He lived in a very chaotic time back in the first half of the other century, the 1900s. So I'm reading this essay by him, and it's so good, but it's gritty. It's like rough. It took place in the 1920s, and it's really tough boarding school he was in, and it's like rough and gritty, and like it was like a gritty time, like right. It's just hard to explain, but it was like rough and gritty, even though it was engaging and intellectually stimulating. And I was like, there's so much roughness and grittiness. And my current reality, I want to read something opulent. That's the word that just kept coming to me. I was like, I want some opulent prose. And then decadent came to me. I was like, I want to read something decadent, something opulent. And I kept saying this, and I believe asking you shall receive. So I'm just holding it in my head. I want a piece of written work, written art, prose that is opulent and decadent. Like, think of like some rich fudge or those truffles you can eat, those chocolate truffles. It's rich. with the high cocoa count. Is that how you say it? Cocoa. But anyway, like think of like a really decadent dessert. I wanted that in written form, like a piece of prose. And the only thing I could think of was this book I read in the 90s called Fortune's Rocks by Anita Shreve. That is the most decadent prose I've seen. Not to call it purple prose, because like some people don't like that decadent, like decorative words. They just like it cut and dry and simple. But the Fortune's Rocks is decadent, but it had meaning. It wasn't just fluff. So that came to mind, but I didn't want to buy a whole book and have to read a whole long novel. I just wanted a taste of something sweet in written form. So I came home and like, what can I find this opulent? Like all of my books are business books, spiritual books, astrology books, but I have a lot of stuff here. So I'm facing my bookshelf now. My camera is sitting on my bookshelf. That's why I'm gesturing here. So I kind of was like, okay, show me something decadent. And then I stumbled upon this that I haven't read in a while. It's called The Lover's Companion, Art and Poetry of Desire. I got it in a used bookstore in Chicago many years ago. That was a favorite pastime of mine back in the day, pre-COVID days when you could go out. Borders Books is what was up, but also local used bookstores. So I got this and I found a lot of wonderful paintings and poems, but one just like really landed with me and really resonated, that I bookmarked it, and it is completely irrelevant to the times we're in now. It's about like love and sensuality and sex, and unless you're already married, ain't nobody doing that now because it's too germy. Like we thought in the 80s with the HIV outbreak, but COVID is worse. You don't even have to have sex. You could just breathe on them, get too close, and you know you're sick. So the love and sex is out right now unless you are like already are in a pair. But even so, I love like the decadent poetry of desire. And I don't want to scare you away. This is not raunchy. What I'm about to share is super tasteful, but also delicious. I love this poem and it just filled me up. So I just wanted to share it with the world. I think it's a little known poem because I tried to Google the author and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm going to share this with you because I don't know if you can find it anywhere else. But it's called Awareness by Charles Sullivan. He was born in 1933, according to this book. I'm going to read it twice because poetry is hard to digest. And I tend to talk kind of fast. So I'm going to try to read this out loud and read it twice so you can get it. So it's called Awareness by Charles Sullivan. I never think of you naked or in bed with me or making love. I see only what you've let me see. Your pretty clothes, the way you sit in someone else's house, your swelling blouse, your smile, your eyes, your trembling hand, and then your questions coming at me through your words, like birds whose cage I might spring open. That's how it begins. I can't say you're always with me, love, at my age, but I think of you each day I live as a present yet to be given. All right, I'm gonna roll through it one more time, maybe at a different pace. I feel like I'm not good at reading poetry anymore. I used to be super good at it when I was young. So yeah, this is not what I do. So bear with me, but I'm just gonna read it again. Awareness by Charles Sullivan. I never think of you naked or in bed with me or making love. I see only what you've let me see. Your pretty clothes, the way you sit in someone else's house, your swelling blouse, your smile, your eyes, your trembling hand, and then your questions coming at me through your words, like birds whose cage I might spring open. That's how it begins. I can't say you're always with me, love, at my age, but I think of you each day I live as a present yet to be given. And again, that was called Awareness by Charles Sullivan. I just love it because, you know, I said I was looking for something that was opulent and decadent, and this isn't necessarily like crazy decadent and simple, but it has a tension to it and a richness. Like I was talking about like a piece of fudge or truffle, but this is kind of like liquid chocolate, like chocolate icing, how you just kind of run your finger around the bowl And as you're running your finger on your bowl, you have the anticipation of what it's gonna be like to stick your finger in your mouth. Especially if you're like baking and the thing you're baking isn't ready yet, but you got this little like icing on the bowl, and you're like, oh, this shit has to be good. And you're rubbing the bowl, and then you suck the chocolate, and you're like, So I don't know if that's what he was going for, but that's what I got in the poem. And I really like how he thought of her as a present yet to be given. Like what's going on with the COVID stuff is people can't be all like on Tinder swiping, hooking up now. So my dream is that we go back to the olden days where we used to write long letters to each other and really court each other instead of like swipe, yes, whatever, hook up, but to kind of see each spark, each connection as a present yet to be given. Like before you get to that first kiss, that is a present yet to be given. And then before you get to the next base and the next base. And even like, I hope I'm not making you feel bad, like if you're single. I'm single too, but like I happen to like being single. But if you are single and like just don't have anyone in sight, kind of think of getting back on the dating scene as that present yet to be given. Think of your prince, or if you're a dude, think of your princess and or your queen or whatever, and hold him or her in your mind's eye. And you haven't even met them yet or conceived them yet into your reality, but it's that present. If we make it through this, and I think we will. I think the world will be different as we know it, but I don't think the world is ending. But think of that love yet discovered. Oh, look at me. I'm getting poetic too now. Look how he inspired me. But think of that love that is yet to be discovered as the present yet to be given. And if you're married already and you're locked down in the house with your spouse because you're in quarantine, this is something you've never experienced with them. I don't know what has happened in your life, but I don't think most people have experienced being locked down 24/7 in quarantine with someone. So you're about to enter a new phase of your relationship, a new chapter, discover new layers of each other. Even if you've been married 30 years, being on lockdown and being in this crisis is going to open up new doors of connection, and just like you'll see each other differently. I have not been married, but I can guarantee this, being locked down for this long, you will unfurl new leaves. So think of this new layer of intimacy, this new layer of discovering your partner as a present yet to be given. Or here's another line I like. What was it? Like birds whose cage I might spring open. Yeah, think about those birds just like flapping around, tweet, 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 and like the tension just like spring that cage up and just whoo, all their awesomeness flies out, that connection, that spark. So yeah, I really love that piece of poetry. Poetry is just another thing. Most people don't like it, so I don't know who the hell is gonna watch this video, but hopefully you enjoyed that. And I did mention COVID a few times, that it was supposed to take your mind off of it. But yeah, if I find any other poems or Course in Miracle verses or Bible verses or whatever, I'm always reading. And I know it's weird for me to sit here and read to you like it's kindergarten, but I'm just gonna do it. Like, people are locked at home now. You ain't doing shit else. So if you want to hear me read poetry, I'm here. I'll do it. I love it. All right, love you. Take care. Do something cool with the rest of your day.